All right, so then what is right and proper authority? Very important. Who's enforcing this? What county were you at when you were arrested? Is question number one that all judges ask, because if you're standing before them to have judgment placed on you in some fashion, they have to make sure that they are the proper authority to charge you for what happened. So that's just what's happening here. Well, Joseph Raz says that one person is practically authoritative over another in a certain domain only if the first person's dictates brings about to some extent the reasons for action that the other has in that domain. Objectively, when God commands a person to do something, this brings about a reason for acting in accordance with the command, even if subjectively the person does not acknowledge this reason. So God has his reasons for making these commands, even if the person doesn't know they're acting in them or acknowledging the command as having a reason.
Right. So what he's capturing here is the idea that our words not only give information, but they also do things. Right. They accomplish things. So, for instance, when the pastor says, "I now pronounce you man and wife," well, he's not just giving out information, but he's accomplishing something with the words, right? And so he says God's commands are the same kind of thing. They accomplish things by his statements, accomplish things by what he says. So that's what he's getting at. He says then the other three kinds of divine prescriptions, right? So he's working his way through these five things: precepts, prohibitions, permissions, and counsels, and so forth. And so the other three kinds of divine prescriptions do not create obligations to do something from the prescription of it. Permissions, he says, are different from precepts, because if a person is given a precept, then she's permitted to comply, but is not permitted not to comply. Right. So here's a precept. You can comply, but you're not obligated necessarily to not comply. Right. You're permitted rather not to comply. So if a person is permitted, she is permitted both to do the thing and not do the thing. Right. So that's the idea here. So those are, so that's permissions and precepts. Finally, he says directly effective commands. So this is his fifth kind of prescription here. Directly effective commands. He says these do not need to have any language using human recipients. So what does he mean? Well, he says, God says, "Let there be light," and there is light, Genesis 1, right? And so notice, God affects something directly by commanding it. So it's important he wants us to see that this category of prescription, these directly effective commands, places creation in the category of something commanded. So here, they do not have any language using human recipients. It's just God commands and something happens and it affects creation. So that's his kind of fifth kind of command here.
Yeah. Yeah. And wouldn't this then kind of allow him to kind of draw the biggest circle possible and saying there's nothing that then will be able to fall outside of the divine command? Because if you have the entire universe spoken into it that is independent from a hearer of those things, well, then there's your ultimate divine command right there.
Right. Yeah.